This is 7-5 Radio with Walter Yerkew and Peter Scoop Stanton. This is the radio show that will break your neck if your neck needs breaking. And here are the hosts of 7-5 Radio, Walter Yerkew, star of the biggest documentary movie ever made, The 7-5, and Peter Scoop Stanton, who starred in To Catch a Predator.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, one and all. This is Peter Scoop Stanton with Walter Yerkew on 7-5 Radio on the Liberty News Radio Network. We are having some technical difficulties. I'm on the phone, but we will have them worked out shortly. Anyways, it's myself and Mr. Yerkew. Right now I am live at the Sexy Sweet Shootout in Alexandria, Virginia, hosted by Ultimate Dons and Divas. I am in the middle of the bedroom in a boudoir situation. Hopefully, I can be photographed, but not by myself. Anyways, Walter, how are we doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing pretty well, thank you. I'm doing pretty well. How are you, Scooper?
I'm outstanding. I'm here at the Sexy Sweet Shootout with a bunch of lovely ladies, waiting to be photographed in the boudoir scene. You know what I mean? Anyways, we want to say hello to all.
I have no idea what you mean.
Well, the bedroom scene.
I have no idea what you mean.
Okay. Anyways, moving right along. It is Saturday, March the 1st, 2025. We want to say hello to all of our special listeners, including Little Billy Keebler and the men and alleged woman of the Yanadasas, New York Fire Department. Also, we want to say hello to New York's finest, New York's bravest, New York's boldest, in New York Strongest, as well as those on Long Island in the 2nd Correctional District. First order of business, we want to remember members of the law enforcement community who were murdered in line of duty. Tonight, we remember Deputy Sergeant Martin Shields, Jr. of the Hinds County, Mississippi Sheriff's Office, end of watch, February 23rd, 2025. His killer, thankfully, committed suicide. Anyways, first story tonight was just an absolute win for the United States. Little Volodymyr Zelenskyy came into Washington, D.C. to sign a treaty where the U.S. would get billions of dollars of natural resources, minerals, to help with its energy crisis. But in the Oval Office, it was the president, the vice president, and then little Zelenskyy. And Zelenskyy was talking some trash. And the vice president and president told him exactly where to go. And anyways, if you watch the clips are all over. Zelenskyy has nothing but disrespect and contempt for the president and the vice president because he was called out. It's like we gave him literally hundreds of billions of dollars of weapons, and he has nothing to show for it. So he comes into Washington, D.C. asking for more money. So anyways, we told him to go pound sand. So thankfully, this is what we voted for. We voted for somebody to stand up for America, not stand up for Ukraine, not to borrow billions of dollars from China to give to Ukraine. Anyways, well, what say you about Trump versus Zelenskyy?
Well, I enjoyed it. It was refreshing, and it was enthusiastic, and gave me more confidence about the power of my country that it's becoming. It's getting its onions back, and I'm proud of Mr. Trump, and I'm proud of Mr. Vance. It's unfortunate that Zelenskyy is nothing more, and this they proved yesterday, nothing more than just a little kid who's in charge of something that is crying because, he's got a ham under his arm, but he's got no bread. And he's gotten, like you said, hundreds of billions from us, hundreds of billions from Europe. He's, halfway to being a trillionaire. And and like you said, he's got nothing to show for it. Absolutely zero. He has a little hissy fit yesterday. Trump put him in his place. He doesn't have a leg to stand on. It's like, it's like your neighbor hosing your house down when it's on fire, and you yelling out the window, "Hey, screw you, you son of a gun!" And I hate your ass, but keep putting water on my house. You just can't. There's so many synopses that you could put this into. The guy just burned a bridge yesterday. This will never sit well, and it just goes to show you that you cannot loan money to friends or family. Thanksgiving dinner will never taste the same, and here we are. We'll never see $350 billion back unless we take it back. And we were willing to do the mineral thing, okay? But for some reason, this little guy with his little pants decides that, well, you want what I got, and I'm not giving it to you. And that's the deal. He wants to guarantee that, Russia isn't going to invade him. He wants to guarantee his people are going to be safe. I think the only way for the Ukrainian people to be safe, of which I am one full-blooded Ukrainian, the only way for the Ukrainians to be safe is to get rid of Zelenskyy. Right. Just like we had to get rid of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. It's the only way to survive. Ukraine. It's the only way to survive. Get rid of Zelenskyy.
Right. Well, what about the idea that Zelenskyy wants to keep the war going, so he keeps the funding to his back pocket, and he does not want peace with Russia?
Well, it's like the Cheney family. As long as there's war, he's making money. If he's not at war, nobody's giving him any money. Plain and simple. You can't put it any plainer than that. And Mr. Trump and Mr. Vance pretty much said just that yesterday. Hey, we stop the flow of cash. He loses. Period. Right. Both sides. He loses it. He loses respect from Western Europe, and he's already lost the respect of the United States of America, and certainly Putin's invasion shows that he's got no respect for Zelenskyy either.
Right. And what gets me, of course, it's in the U.S., it's the left-right issue. Yesterday I was going to work, and they had a bunch of probably government employees holding signs, saying get rid of President Musk and dump Trump, and holding like pro-Ukrainian signs. But why do you think the left would support Ukraine in the first place?
No.
Is it because like Trump wants peace? He doesn't want to give Ukraine any more money?
Well,
or what?
Trump said it many years ago. After Putin invaded the Ukraine and they started shooting missiles back and forth and killing, Trump was asked, who do you favor, Ukraine or Russia? And he says, I just want people to stop dying. Right. And that's what he's trying to do. I'm sure Mr. Putin is looking for some resolution. Okay, of course he doesn't want to look like he's got egg on his face either. It's pretty much a war of egos now amongst the two different the two leaders, Ukraine and Russia. But I would just like to stop people from dying also. We've given the Ukraine $350 billion over 4 years, okay? And Musk in the past month has found $100 billion in waste. So add 350 to 100, you got $500 billion.
Right.
In waste. In waste.
Right. And I mean, we other than like the natural resources, we could use for a better lifestyle. Cheaper electricity, cheaper gasoline, cheaper energy. There's nothing in Ukraine I want. We really need or want. Number one. Also, I'm at the point now. I'm actually rooting for Russia. because for this guy to come in and say what he says, because obviously he doesn't know who he's messing with. Obviously, he hasn't paid attention for the past 8 years of what Donald Trump has done. But just for the disrespect, no diplomacy, no whatsoever. And Trump and Vance put him in his place. And at first, when Trump picked J.D. Vance, I was skeptical. But anyways, he proved himself and then some. Anyways, we get back. Walter wants to talk about easy television in the family. Also, trains out of the military. Bongino as a service country again, and people are hired, people fired. Stay tuned, everybody. This is 75 Radio on Liberty News Radio Network.
Former Sheriff Richard Mack recounts in his book The Proper Role of Law Enforcement how he came to realize while working as a beat cop how wrong the all-too-common orientation of police officers is when they think of their job as being to write tickets and arrest people. Richard Mack tells of his personal transformation from by-the-number cop to Constitution-conscious defender of citizen safety and freedoms. Learn what it really means to serve and protect. Purchase your copy at cspoa.org. That's cspoa.org.
In the spirit of 1776, here's your chance to own a piece of history and show your commitment to liberty and justice. Introducing the beautiful, high-quality leather wallet, crafted with precision and pride, featuring the official Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officers Association bronze badge on the inside. This isn't just a wallet. It's a bold statement of your values. Made with premium leather, it's built to last, just like the principles of our founding fathers. Don't wait. This is a limited edition. Once they're gone, they're gone. For $760, you can carry the spirit of 1776 with you wherever you go. Visit cspoa.org to secure yours today. True patriots, don't wait. Get your CSPOA leather wallet now and join the movement to honor our Constitution and protect our freedoms. The badge and wallet for the CSPOA is a symbol of membership and should be used to indicate that affiliation rather than for any official or professional purposes.
Do you know what is great about America? Ask an Immigrant. Ask an Immigrant is a new podcast dedicated to helping Americans, especially our youth, value, appreciate, and be grateful for the freedoms we have here in America. Join host Lydia Wallace-Nuttall as she interviews immigrants from around the world to discover their inspiring personal stories about why they came to America. To learn more about why America is the most prosperous, greatest country in the world, download the Loving Liberty app or go to lovingliberty.net.
You're back, and Scoop is just getting done staring at Danila's Instagram account. Here's more 7.5 Radio.
Okay. Hey, this is Walter. We're back. Scoop is having technical difficulties at his snake charming party or wherever he is. And I'm going to just jump in right now because Scoop mentioned before the break that I wanted to talk about something that I call Easy TV. Easy TV is what we have now. When when I was growing up in the 60s and 70s and 80s, we had television where it was structured. Structured was you had soap operas from noon to 5, and then at 5 o'clock you watched the news. At 6 o'clock you watched the nightly news. At 7 o'clock you went right into sitcom for the rest of the evening. Okay, every day was the same thing. It was a structured television. It was structured to the audience. It was structured to the ladies, the female part of our population, being housewives during the day, watching soap operas or game shows, because they did have on each channel. And then again, at 5 o'clock, 4:30 in my household it was Mike Douglas. 6 o'clock, the news came on, and you watched, Jim Jensen or Bill Butel or whoever was your local radio anchor person in New York. And I'm sure everybody remembers their anchor person in their respective hometowns. So it was structured. So you pretty much had to watch the news because you only had like 8 channels, and 7 of them had news on it. So pretty much everybody was kept abreast on what was going on locally, at least. And then they did a national, and then they did a world news, but they didn't do a whole heck of a lot. They would tell you what Nixon did that day, or then Carter, and then Ford, and so it was pretty much structured television. Now we have what I call easy TV. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of channels out there to view. They're on YouTube. They're on TikTok. They're on Hulu. They're on Fandango. They're on. It's easy TV. You can watch the news any time of the day or not. So if you're watching the news and something comes on the news that you don't like, you're not interested in, or you don't want to hear about, it's easy to flip to another channel. And I don't even think there's much in the way of cartoons anymore. I wouldn't know how to look for them. But there's nothing stopping you from just flipping the channel and turning on something else, which is fine. However, it has made our country uninformed. What it does is just gives insight on what they want to talk about, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. Now, these days, you're a Democrat, you watch left-based media. If you're a Republican, you're watching right-based media. There's no median, like I said, like Jim Jensen or Bill Butel back in the day, and on CBS and ABC in New York, or Walter Cronkite, which just told you what the news was, not their opinion of it, or their interpretation of it, or what they expect of it. So we have an issue with uninformed America. I normally say white bread America, and I stand by that. But we do have black bread America and yellow bread America and red bread America. You name it. You name the color. You name the race. It's America. It's white bread. It's bread America. They don't know what in the heck is going on, and they don't take the time to do research. I mean, you can compare what Graham said as opposed to what Senator Graham said as opposed to what Elizabeth Warren said, and you can't even really meet in the middle because they're so far apart in their beliefs. It's what you believe in your heart. Your brain can tell you who to vote for, but you really got to figure out what's in your heart to know. And it's up to you to become informed so you can have an intelligent conversation with the other. There's Democrats that says they can't have intelligent conversations with Republicans, and vice versa. So what do? How do you do it? You got to figure it out. I don't have the answer for you. I try to view different media outlets. I try to, I'll read Fox News online. I'll read CNN online. And basically those two, when you read them online, are basically the same, except then they give their interpretation of whatever happened. Like yesterday, some people will call in, like Senator Graham, very proud to be, very proud of his president and his vice president. Then you have some other clown, I can't remember his name, and they're all clowns. I mean, don't get me wrong. Then you have somebody else saying that Trump is being a bully. So I just love to.
Hey, down here.
Hey, well, sorry to interrupt. Breaking news on 75 Radio at the Sexy Sweet Shootout. Yours truly won a raffle. Continue, sir.
Okay. That was a very, very important news break. Thanks for that. So, people have to determine, what they're going to believe in their heart, not just, what they hear and be swayed, one side or the other. Some people hate Trump because Tom Hanks hates Trump. Some people love Trump because Sylvester Stallone loves Trump. You see, it's just stupid, and they're not getting the correct type of information to be informed and to be educated and make a rational decision. So that's what I mean by easy TV. When something comes on that you don't want to hear about, you can change to thousands of other channels that are floating around out there. When I was a kid growing up, if you changed the channel, you heard the same thing from another news anchor. So people just need to be a little bit more flexible in where they get their information from and how they repeat it. It's like the telephone game. You tell me something, and then I tell somebody, and then they tell somebody, and 15 people later, it's totally wrong and different from what the first person actually said. So you have to investigate. If somebody tells you something is in such a way, just don't take it for gospel. Find out for yourself, and then you'll know for sure.
Right. Well, Walter, that's very well put, but I got a couple things I want to bring up. Like today, we got like thousands of different things we can watch on TV or on our phones, but most of it's garbage. Remember, we had like 3 channels, and we had great TV shows like MASH, All in the Family, Good Times, The Jeffersons, all the detective shows like Mannix, Columbo, and so on and so forth. But now we just have absolute garbage. It's like, okay, we got more channels, now we got more garbage, number one. But also, for the news, you got, thank you very much.
Your raffle prize, sir, is a mini spa kit for one.
Oh, all right. Breaking news on 75 Radio. At the Sexy Sweet Shootout, I won a what's this again, ma'am?
It is a mini spa kit for one.
A mini spa day kit for one person. I got a pedicure set. I got some lotions. I got some truffles and some other stuff. And a $10
gift card to Chima.
$10 gift card to Chima. Thank you very much. Anyways, back to the news. Walter Cronkite, what he said about Vietnam, the war is unwinnable. I mean, that was his opinion, but that just really changed the landscape of the Vietnam War. Should he say it? Probably not, but is it his right to say it? Yes. Also, the media landscape is changing. You got more and more like citizen journalists such as us, such as James O'Keefe, battling the big mainstream media conglomerates, and we are winning. But the problem is we're talking in an echo chamber. Like you said, we got white bread America more worried about football and what the Kardashians are doing and who's winning what award. But that's what I can say about that. But I mean, people, if you're a taxpayer, if you love this country, if you work for a living and see where your money's going, $300 billion for Ukraine, and you're watching, you're worried about the commercials on the for the Super Bowl, you have a problem. And like you said before, you got to get involved. Not just watch Fox, not just watch MSNBC or the 6 o'clock news. Look at other sources. Like for me, just to get the show together every single week, I have to go through multiple sources. If a story sounds too good to be true, I got to verify it. And if I can't verify it with another source, it doesn't see the light of day. But anyways, very well put about simple television from back in the so-called day. Well, any other comments, questions, or concerns?
Not about the easy TV. Well, maybe one thing. When years ago, you used to have to read to see what was on television with the TV guide. There was a TV guide in every household. Now people just sit there aimlessly flipping through channels. Tick, 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 tick. I can imagine what that does to one brain to see thousands and thousands of images, within 5 minutes of your existence.
Right. Anyways, we call back and we'll talk about the trains getting kicked out of the military. Those want to check emails, and also Dan Bongino returns to government service. Stay tuned, everybody. This is 75 Radio on Liberty News Radio Network. Take it away, boys.
Protecting your liberties. You're listening to Liberty News Radio.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Jason Walker. During the campaign, Donald Trump promised to secure the border, and he is living it right now. The Pentagon sending 3,000 additional troops to the U.S.-Mexico border as the president seeks to clamp down on illegal immigration. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth has ordered elements of a Stryker Brigade combat team and a General Support Aviation Battalion for that mission. The forces will arrive along the nearly 2,000-mile border in the coming weeks. Also, at townhall.com, a majority of voters favor an election integrity measure recently advocated by the president. Here's correspondent Bernie Bennett with that story.
A survey of 1,210 U.S. likely voters was conducted on February 24th and 26th by Rasmussen Reports. The margin of sampling error is plus or minus 3 percentage points with a 95% level of confidence. The Rasmussen Reports daily presidential tracking poll for Friday shows that 50% of likely U.S. voters approve of President Trump's job performance. 48% disapprove. The latest figures include 35% who strongly approve of the job President Trump is doing and 40% who strongly disapprove. That gives him a presidential approval index rating of -5. Bernie Bennett reporting.
A senior Hamas official says, quote, no progress has been made in the latest round of talks. That on the second phase of the ceasefire between Israel and the Palestinian terrorist group. It is unclear whether talks will resume. The first phase saw the release of 33 hostages in exchange for some 2,000 Palestinian prisoners. FedEx cargo plane making an emergency landing in New Jersey early this morning after a bird strike caused an engine fire. It did land safely. No one was hurt. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Let's see, if something costs... Hi, this is Rhett Rasmussen of BestHotGrill.com. We make the amazing Solaire infrared gas grills that are built to last and will consistently deliver better than restaurant grilled food. The Solaire infrared burner heats up to 1,000 degrees in just 3 minutes, even in the dead of winter. The high heat locks in the juices and flavor and grills food faster. Learn more about these fantastic USA-made grills at BestHotGrill.com. Solaire hot, fast grills at BestHotGrill.com.
Healthcare is complicated. It doesn't have to be. If you don't love how your health insurance works, maybe it's time to leave traditional health insurance behind. Take charge of your healthcare with Christian Healthcare Ministries. CHM offers you flexibility. Enroll anytime, choose your own provider, and select the program that fits your needs and budget. CHM is the original faith-based way of taking care of your medical bill costs. Learn more at chministries.org/wellness.
Mr. President,
Senator from Kentucky.
Reserving the right to object. I lived for 4 months in Asheville, worked at the VA hospital, still have fond feelings for Western North Carolina. But the thing is the reason why we won't do this in a responsible way is because the Senate voted to send all your money to Ukraine. I mean, they voted to send $200 billion to Ukraine. I've been all over the mountains of Appalachia when I ask people, would you rather that your senators take care of you here in Asheville or here in Pikeville, here in Appalachia, would you rather them send your money to Ukraine? I don't get anybody wanting to send a penny to Ukraine. Look, you can have all kinds of sympathy in the world for Ukraine, hostility towards Russia being the aggressor nation, but we don't have the money. We're $2 trillion in the hole. Interest this year is going to be $1 trillion. And as far as passing this, I'm willing to let it pass today. He's going to object to passing his own bill today simply because it gets paid for. I'm willing to let the bill pass, but take some of the fluff and boondoggle subsidies from the Green New Deal and put it into here. The money's sitting here. We put it into here for disasters. We help Asheville today.
In the medical field, IT security is crucial. Our highly skilled consultants are HIPAA certified and have 20-plus years of experience servicing medical clinics, billing, and supply companies. We offer comprehensive endpoint protection, guarding your computers and servers against all stages of threats. And with our 24/7 monitoring services, you'll never worry about extensive downtime again. Ready to level up your IT support? Call 801-706-6980 today and discover how great IT services can be with managed IT services.
Experience the untamed spirit of the American West with Range Magazine. Each issue is a visual journey featuring award-winning photography and compelling stories that capture the heart of ranching and rural life. Stay informed on the challenges and triumphs of those who live and work on the land. Subscribe today and receive quarterly editions delivered to your doorstep and join a community that cherishes the enduring legacy of the Western frontier. Visit rangemagazine.com to subscribe.
Wow, you're still listening? Here's more 7-5 Radio.
And we are back. Scoop Stand with Walter Yerkew. I am at the Sexy Sweet Shootout with Bree Crenshaw and Ultimate Dons and Divas. We got some bad news and got some good news. The bad news is that, unfortunately, we couldn't get the connection with their studio, so I'm on here this telephone. Good news that there's plenty of ladies walking around in some lingerie. Yours truly is walking around with no pants on and his dark shirt and his Rolling Stones tie and his Durango boots. And I won a one-day spa set for home use. Anyways, good things always happen on 7-5 Radio.
So what does that mean? You got a bottle of baby oil?
No, I got some sculpting gel, a pedicure set, a face mask, some collagen skin cream. What's this?
What do you expect to get on your face from a one-person spa basket?
I don't know. I got what's this thing? Emery boards for my feet. Make sure my toes look nice for the ladies. So anyways, I got. But thank you, Bree, and thank you, Ultimate Dons and Divas. But anywho,
you also need to thank Mike Rakebrandt, because
for
if he was here, he'd be destroying you.
No, he wouldn't. He'd be jealous. But anyway, speaking of personal spa kit, people like Dr. Dickie Levine is out of the Department of Defense, the active duty ranks. No, Dickie Levine is not was not a member of the Department of Defense, but the U.S. Public Health Service. But he was the face of just absolute absurdity. Here you have a guy walking around as a female, and they promote him as admiral for the U.S. Public Health Service. But anyways, the Trump team is not stopping whatsoever. The Pentagon has ordered all transgender troops removed from the service within 60 days unless they can prove they are fit for duty. This is, to me, just music to my ears. 25 years ago, when I was in the service, I saw things come, and they were, Don't Ask, Don't Tell was repealed. They kept pushing the start of the woke agenda. So now Biden comes in. It's like, okay, you got a man that says he's a female, joins the military, and guess what? The military is responsible for surgery, and they have to make all these accommodations to put this man dressed up as a female in female barracks, female birthing, so on and so forth. Just absolutely just goes against everything the military stands for. I mean, one of the things about the military, they are uniform. They all wear the same uniforms. When you have units in their BDUs for the Army and Marines, it's very, very hard to distinguish the rankings, because it's a very small rank in the center of the chest. That way the bad guys can't determine who's a commissioned officer and who's a private first class. But anyways, kudos for the Defense Department for just stopping this, saving some money, put the money, get some bombs, bullets, and Band-Aids, and some gas for our tanks and boats. But, I mean, think about this. In 100 years, we go from Alvin York, Audie Murphy, George Patton, Chester Nimitz, and now we're at Corporal Maxwell Klinger, the character from the television show MASH. Well, what say you? Well,
yeah, I'm here. What'd you say?
Yeah, what say you about the banning of transgenders in the within the ranks of the military?
I'm 100% behind it. Dickie Levine, sounds like a character from the Little Rascals movies in the 30s, and formerly Richard Levine. The old I don't know if it was a joke but it turned out to be a joke. How do you get Dickie out of Richard? Well, he found a way, and yeah. I would rather be fighting, if I had to, fighting, on the front line with someone who has the same equipment, both inside and outside my uniform, as I do, so to speak. And the issue is that you could be 6 feet tall at 140 pounds and frail with both a penis and breasts. And that does not do well on the front lines in battle, I would imagine. I've never been in battle. I can't imagine what it would be like to be in battle, but I would certainly like to have someone next to me that I could, call my a brother. Instead of saying, brother, sister / sister.
Right. Or think about this: you and some other dude in a foxhole in some hellhole somewhere, plugging away at the enemy, and then he has pronouns. No, I'm a they them. Like, what's he taking a foxhole? The Chinese are shooting their 7.62s at us. You worry about they them? That's why.
Yeah. It's just I always say this. I mean to be this to be a pun, but it's a sticky situation when you have stuff like that. You have to absolutely be able to trust the person next to you. I would rather have a full-blooded female next to me than a tranny, because the full-blooded female is not confused in the trenches. So I just don't understand why it was allowed. And why it got this far. But it's over, it's done with, it's finished. People are going to, try to open up lawsuits and stuff like that, and that's okay, that's fine. You're entitled to do that. But our boys in olive drab are entitled to have someone who can save their life and maybe be able to carry them out and not worry about their breasts falling out of their bra. At the same time as their junk falls out of their drawers. So I just don't. I'm 100% behind it. If you're transgender or vestite or transmission, whatever you think you are, more power to you. Okay. However, you're find a different way to get somebody else killed.
Right. But anyways, I think we
or
beat that.
Or don't find a way to get somebody else killed.
Right. But yeah, you want to go that way, just do it on your own. Don't have the taxpayer pay for it, anyways. Speaking of taxpayer, thing I have an issue with the Doge. They wanted all federal employees, 2.3 million plus, to send an email of 5 bullet points what they did for a week. To me, this is just totally not efficient whatsoever. You got 2.3 million people sending emails. Then you need people to analyze said emails, check the emails, and cross-reference emails, and then go after people who didn't send the emails. To me, that's just absolutely totally waste of time, waste of man hours, and waste of money. What they should do, which is much simpler, is take all the information from payroll using the employee social security numbers and cross-reference them with the tax filings. So, okay, you got John Smith, this social security number. Okay, he works for the Social Security Administration. All right, let's see if he filed the taxes. That way, I think it's just so much easier just to find out who's actually doing work, who's not, and who's on the payroll, who's not. And then if John Smith doesn't have a tax return for last year, maybe maybe the IRS should take a look at him. Walt, before we go to the next break, what say you about Doge wanting millions of emails to say what they did last week?
We know there's corruption in the government, and corruption in the government has been there since day one. What benefits the person, that's in charge of certain departments. And I truly believe that there are people collecting paychecks, but there are numerous people's identities, let's say, in between the paycheck to the recipient. I believe that it's I hate to say pyramid scheme, but in order to get John Smith let's say John Smith is getting a paycheck. Okay, in order to get to John Smith, you have to go halfway through the phone book to get to him. From where the paycheck is signed by the time it gets to John Smith. I think it's just filtered through many channels until Mr. Smith gets his check or Mrs. Smith. So that's what I believe is. So all those people in between, I don't think they exist. If they don't answer the email, they don't exist.
Right, but I think it's too much time. Anyways, we'll come back. We'll talk about people changing jobs, getting hired, getting fired. This is 75 Radio on Libya News Radio Network.
This is a battle between truth and deceit, a battle between forces that would enslave this country in darkness, and between a media that wants to present you with the truth. We are being censored. America's news outlets no longer provide the truth. 90% of news outlets in the United States are controlled by 6 corporations. The mission of the Epoch Times is to chase the truth, to ground all statements in fact.
TheEpochTimes.com. Attention collectors and savvy investors. We are excited to announce a momentous evolution in our journey. Introducing Free Water Coin Company, formerly known as Rust Coin and Gift. This rebranding takes us back to the very roots of where it all began, Free Water, Oregon. It's a tribute to the legacy of Al Rust and a celebration of 3 generations of dedication and excellence in the world of coins and precious gifts. Al, Brian, and Jake Rust, standing strong through 64 years of service. Discover a world of exceptional service at Free Water Coin Company, your premier destination for genuine, honest money and precious gifts. Under Brian's expert guidance, Free Water Coin Company, building on the legacy of Rust Coin and Gift, continues its tradition of trust and excellence. Visit us at our Provo, Utah location. Explore our treasures online at rustgoldandsilver.com or call us at 801-377-1574. Free Water Coin Company, where your future is built one honest coin at a time.
Looking for an IT partner that truly understands your needs? Managed IT Services is the answer. We meet with you regularly to discuss your goals and form a tailored technology plan. Our customers have called us a trusted advisor who delivers. When it comes to IT, we do it all. Firewalls, cloud storage, server migration, and more. Say goodbye to long-term contracts and hello to a team that earns your business month after month. Call 801-706-6980 now and let Managed IT Services transform your IT experience.
This is 7.5 Radio with Walter Yuku. Walter Yurkow. Walter Kiwi. Here's Walton Scoop.
And we are back, and in between commercials, I was having a very important conversation with Walter Yurkow. And looking at the Instagram account of our 7.5 Radio spokesmodel, Danila Rodrigues, take a look at her for yourself at DanilaRodrigues.model on Instagram. That's Danila Rodrigues with an S, model on Instagram. Anyways, a couple of things. People switching some jobs. First off, Dan Bongino answered the call from his president. He was the host of his own podcast and his own show on Cumulus Media. Making a very good living. Not living in Florida, just staying out of the limelight. But he did choose to take the job of Assistant Director of the FBI, where he has to deal with the deep state. I'm telling you, folks, this past week, hanging out at CPAC, talking to these different people, there is a deep state, and it is deep. It's not just, and the deep state's not just the black hats working in our government. It's also the CCP. But anyways, for whatever reason, Bongino's going to battle the deep state. He's going to battle the media. He's going to battle these politicians who hate America, hate cops, hate him. So for a significant pay cut, and he's going to move to Washington D.C., which I've been here 15 years. It sucks. Real quick, what's it about Bongino going back on the job, so to say?
Well, I think it was a good choice, and He's not part of the inner circle of Washington, which is a good thing, because that's what you need. In our world, your world and my world, when you put someone in charge of people, you don't take someone from those people and put them in charge of those said same people. You need somebody fresh. And I believe in that 100%. In every police force, every army barracks, and anywhere where there's going to be hierarchy, you need to bring someone in who is not from the same bag of rocks. I believe that wholeheartedly. His mission is to, of course, assist Cash, and but he'll have his own duties to weed out what goes on under the let's say sheets of the FBI. It's time for him to weed out the guys that don't belong there, and I believe the only way to get guys out and women that don't belong there is to I hate to say partner up, but interview, get ideas on from somebody who has been, let's say, in the gray area of law enforcement, to weed out the bad ones, and let's get this country back on its feet and respect back to the FBI.
Right. Exactly. So, anyways, good luck to Mr. Bongino. Also, look, if you need some help, look me up. I'm not doing anything Sunday through Friday. Anyways, moving right along. Some weird turn of events. I mean, Donald Trump, he just affected everything. MSNBC host Joy Reid was fired, and people like me are upset. Why? Because she gave us so much content, and she was just so entertaining. But anyway, she went after white people, Donald Trump, all the time. That was her show. Just go after white people, Donald Trump. Meanwhile, she has this awful weave that makes her look like Donald Trump. Anyways, so this black radical lady who hates Trump, hates white people. She gets fired from the most liberal network on American broadcasting. So, but in good news, Anthony Cumia, who had started his career at in Boston, and then WNEW in New York, and then Sirius Broadcasting, and then his own platform, he is going to the biggest talk station in America, 77 WABC in New York. He is joining legends such as Rush Limbaugh and the late Bob Grant. So kudos for Mr. Cumia. And just a word of note, I did send WABC our information because I think we'd be a great lead-in for Anthony Cumia. And the funny thing about Cumia, he has some very politically incorrect views on race that got him fired from SiriusXM. And then when he came out in the political cesspool, he got thrown under the bus. But kudos for WABC for bringing on Anthony Cumia. Real quick, we think about Joy Reid getting fired from a liberal network and Anthony Cumia getting hired on a so-called conservative talk station.
Well, you saw Joy Reid, crying the other day, and she kept whining about her show had value. I guess it depends on what your definition of value is, and what. I don't know if I could say this on the air, but here I go. Get ready. The value of her, and her show is kind of like what the tissue is before a 13-year-old boy uses for. Okay, because after it's done, there's no value with said tissue. So. And as far as our friend Mr. Cumia, we all know we got a raw deal, and more power to him. It couldn't happen at a better time where she gets dumped and he gets bumped.
Right. So, I mean, hopefully Mr. Kumi remembers us from 2014 and give us a phone call. And WABC, give us a phone call because, I mean, I think we got something that people should hear, especially in the New York City region. Anyways, moving right along.
Well,
I know we're getting short.
I hope to hear about my tissue joke. Maybe Greg Gutfeld will use it tonight or tomorrow night, on Monday night.
Or Monday night. But anyways, moving right along since we're short on time. America has lost an acting legend, Gene Hackman. He died this week. We're not going to go into his cause of death as it's still an investigation. It's very suspicious. But anyways, Hackman has over 100 acting credits, including Unforgiven, Enemy of the State, The Replacements, Absolute Power, Poseidon's Adventure, Superman. But he could be the good guy, the bad guy, the crazy guy, the funny guy. But he played every role. And then he was with like every A-list actor from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and he still took the screen. But anyways, our favorite movie featuring Gene Hackman is 1971's The French Connection. In this movie, director William Friedkin and, as Walter says, Uncle Eddie Egan, who was the basis of the character Popeye, brought out the worst in Gene Hackman, because there's things he did not want to say on screen. There's things he didn't want to do on screen, such as beat up that alleged dope dealer. But Egan and Friedkin just brought out the best of Hackman, and he did win the Academy Award in 1972. But this movie, Hackman's performance and the entire movie has a special place in our hearts. So we're gonna miss him. They don't make guys like him anymore. And one of his crowning achievements was that he served this nation as a member of the United States Marine Corps. He enlisted at 16 and a half years old. So anyways, we're going to miss him, and, Godspeed, Gene Hackman. Walt, what say you about losing Gene Hackman?
Good leading man in all the movies that he's made. One of the movies that stand out is, I believe it was Unforgiven, a Western.
Yep.
With Sharon Stone. I
that
that movie.
Unforgiven was Clint Eastwood. Sharon Stone was The Quick and the Dead.
The Quick, yeah, right. I appreciate that movie. That he was, he played a cowboy who didn't kiss up on another cowboy. He had Sharon Stone, as his leading lady. Not Heath Ledger, and I can't never pronounce that guy's name.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
Right.
Jake Gyllenhaal had Heath Ledger as his leading lady. So
right,
okay. Well, I don't want to get into the gay thing. That was an honorable mention. Anyway, excellent actor. He could turn into a character. He could be playing Popeye Boyle, 1 week, and then turn around and be a cowboy in a Western. Very, very smart man, very well respected man. He never got into that Hollywood, baloney with, sleeping. Well, maybe he did, but he was married twice for a total of, with both wives, 65 years. He was married to his first wife, 30, married to his cousin. Excuse me, didn't mean to say that. Married to his current wife for 35 years, until their deaths. So it was unfortunate. We lost him. He had a long, good life, and rest in peace.
All right. Well, real quick, you got some news about the Amazon pick. Ah, damn it. We got it. Anyways, we'll have to save it for next week. Anyways, for Walter Yerkew, this is Peter Scoopstan at the Sexy Sweet Shootout. Reminding you, you can make a difference. Go out and make it. And also, New York State CEOs, go back to work.
Edwards for 7-5 Radio. For those who work the streets and the jails, thanks for keeping us safe. So long, everybody.